Do you think if I clicked on class trial, it will show the entire flashback again?
Oh, it totally will.
Okay. Let's not do that.
Let's save.
Compulsively. Anyway, Edgeworth and I talked after that class trial. That's when I heard his father was a defense attorney. I remember his eyes would shine when he talked about his father. He was all like, "Ooh, ooh, Otosan."
I'm going to become a defense attorney, just like my father.
Can you make Tiny Edgeworth read his lines like, "I'm going to become a defense attorney, just like my father. Ooh, ooh."
I'm going to become a defense attorney, just like my father, Uwu.
Thank you.
A famous defense attorney.
Then, a few months later, he suddenly transferred to another school.
The DL6 incident.
Right. I'm not sure, but the transfer probably had to do with his father's death. He stopped saying
That's so sad.
He stopped saying ooh that day.
That he would never ooh-woo again. Now I'm thinking about Catboy Miles Edgeworth. Why would you do this to me? Why? It's
Why
going to
not?
live forever in my head. Catboy Miles Edgeworth, he's so cute. And he
Good.
drinks tea with too much milk. And he loves a little forehead scratch.
His ears twitch every time he says objection.
Every time Wright does something dumb, his little ears go twitch twitch. Oh!
Okay, listen, you cannot blame me for this. All I said was ooh. You fabricated this
No.
entire scenario on your own.
I'm gonna blame you anyways.
It was several years later when I heard Edgeworth's name again. There was an article about him in the newspaper. The headline was something like, "Dark Suspicions of a Demon Attorney." Fabricating evidence, manipulating testimonies, covering up facts. All at the age of, like, 12 or something. Aren't they, like, 21 now?
24. They're 24.
Okay.
Which is how old I am. Ah.
Why aren't you a defense attorney yet?
I don't know. You know, it was really crazy when when I first started playing these games and I was like 13 and now I'm like 24 and I'm still playing Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Same. I only go into Phoenix Wright because of the memes. You know that animation that Von Karma has when he, like, does, like, a hook with his arm and then slams his desk? While screaming?
Yes.
Someone photoshopped him onto a boat and animated that with an oar in his hand, so he's just screaming and rowing the boat.
Rowing. He's going.
Look at him go. Anyway. The article said he'd do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything. But why? What happened? I mean, that's not the Edgy-kun I used to know at all. That's what I thought too. I tried to get in touch with him I don't know how many times. He never replied.
I guess he didn't want to see his old friends.
I couldn't just drop it though. I wanted to meet him, to learn why he had become who he became. That's when I decided.
Wait, you don't mean... That's why? Like, that's why you became a defense attorney? To meet Edgeworth?
Hey, if
That
Ariel
was bad.
if Ariel can grow human legs out of thirst, then I can change my career out of thirst.
I was gonna say, like, Phoenix decided his whole career path so that he could meet this guy from 3rd grade again to have a conversation with him.
Yep.
But we're supposed to believe that they're not in love.
Do you remember when Zeto Kaiba literally created a device that would temporarily kill him and send him to the afterlife so he could duel the Pharaoh again?
Yeah, like, we're supposed, like, I feel like this is just a general anime trope in general. Is like these rivals have such an intense rivalry that they would literally die for each other. Their entire lives are defined by each other. Oh, but they're also both married to women.
Yeah.
Like Naruto and Sasuke much?
I'd die for you, Misha.
I would not die for you.
Okay.
I have too much to live for, I'm sorry.
That's fair.
I appreciate the gesture, though.
You're supposed to go along with my bits!
No.
How dare. This is our rivalry. This is what our rivalry is based on. I do bits and you just don't go with them.
It's like manzai comedians. That's what we are. Yeah.
I'll be
Which
the guy.
one's
Sorry?
I'm trying to remember what the terms for them are. I don't know. One of them is like the funny guy, and then there's the straight man, and I am straight man. I'm like, that's not funny.
Okay.
Smacks you.
I'll be the one that stands in the background saying the Jugemu tongue twister over and over again.
Sure.
Jugemu Jugemu Goku ni suru kere kaijai singa ni singa matsu na matsu hura matsu kuna ru toko ni sumu toko yabara koji na koji.
Okay, we're done with that now. They're still going. They're still going.
Yeah. I know the tongue twister off by heart. Don't at me. If I was a defense attorney, I knew he'd have to meet me whether he wanted to or not. If I die and go to the afterlife, the Pharaoh has to duel me. In court. Edgeworth believed in me, and I believe in him. He's in pain, and no one's on his side. I'm the only one who knows the real Edgeworth from those 3 months that I knew him in the 3rd grade. I'm the only one who can help him.
I've definitely said that about at least one ex-boyfriend before. Like, I'm the only person that really knows him. Like, okay.
After dating him
chill.
for like 3 months?
Longer than 3 months, but like that's not a thing you say about just anybody. Like yeah. This is a man in love.
Whoa, Nick. So is that why you helped me out for free? Yes. I helped you because I believed in you. Except I don't remember saying I'd do it for free, Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Nick, Nick! We have to save Mr. Edgeworth if it's the last thing we do, okay?
Maya, like, we'd die for Edgeworth. Edgeworth, like, I would not do the same for you, right?
Yeah. So, you and I are rivals. I just said the thing, and you were like, no.
I guess. Look at that. I played myself. I played myself with that
did.
one.
You did.
I did.
You're my boyfriend now.
I guess. I'm not a very good boyfriend.
Yeah,
I just want you to know. I will leave dates to go to auditions. I have, and I will.
Okay. Right. It very may well be.
First, there's that rental boat shop caretaker. We need to find out who or what he is.
What do you mean, what? Do you think he's an alien, Maya?
It's totally possible. I mean, come on. I turn into a ghost half the time.
Yes.
You could be an alien.
I'd settle for who? Yeah, probably. Isn't there a bit... I don't think it's in this trilogy, but isn't there a bit where they cross-examine the whale?
I feel like that's in the DLC of one of the other games.
Oh. I guess I can clean out some of this evidence I no longer need. If only they'd done that for the SL9 incident! Okay, let's go.
No.
You're right. We need these 5 pages of evidence.
They're all important.
Uh-huh.
The evidence is important. I remember playing these games even as a kid and be like, it's really reckless that he's throwing out evidence. Like, what if he needs some of that later?
That's called hoarding, Misha.
No, it's called just, it's like meta, like, that, it's called, like, I'm trying to think of, there's a term for it when, like, they tell you that something is, like, something about the plot in, like, the way that they, like, do cleanup like that. It's like the reverse of Chekhov's gun. Like, if you get rid of something in the first act, it means it won't be relevant in the third act. It's reverse Chekhov's gun. That's what I'm deciding it's called. You know, Chekhov never actually wrote about a gun in that context. That's a theater fact for you. He was like, if somebody has like, he never specifically wrote about a gun.
What is
It
Chekhov's
should
gun? Just remind me.
Okay, so Chekhov's gun, for people that don't know, Anton Chekhov is a playwright, was a playwright in the late 1800s, and he wrote like a lot of realism. Like he wrote plays about people having problems, and like that was a sort of new thing. But his really big thing that he's famous for is the concept of Chekhov's gun, which is it's shortened to basically like, if there's a gun in the first act of the play, by the third act of the play, the gun has to have gone off. That like everything that you include in your story should be relevant to the overall story. So like for example, the best example of it that I can think of off the top of my head is in The Cherry Orchard, there's a character who has a cough, and they're all like, "Ugh, you should go get that cough checked out. You're probably sick." And the whole time he's like, "No, I'm not sick." And then the very last scene of the play is him dying. Like he's on stage and he's like, "Oh, this cough's gonna kill me," and then he dies.
Oh.
Like it's this recurring thing through the play that you don't think is going to be consequential, but it is. And like that's sort of the idea of Chekhov's gun, is that anything that pops up should be important later. It's like the way that the thinker statue in these games keeps popping back up like throughout this
Right.
whole game. It's like the stupid statue of the thinker continues to be relevant. Like that's sort of a Chekhov's gun. I think in general the Ace Attorney games are really good at using that principle. Like at the stupidest moments, Phoenix's defense, like his attorney badge, is important to the story. Like it's
Yeah.
just like one of those things that like he always has it. You're like, oh, his attorney badge, but then it ends up being important eventually.
So would
There's a
the...
theater,
Oh, no, go
yeah.
ahead.
There's a storytelling lecture for you all. You're welcome.
Thank you, Misha Sensei. So would the gun in the last trial be considered like a Chekhov's gun because the fact that it was fired 3 times did not come up until the last possible second?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, exactly. And I think that like that's sort of the thing with the Ace Attorney games, is that you have to examine everything, because anything that's written down does end up being relevant at some point or other in the story. Yeah.
This also made me think of in the tournament of Power Rock of Dragon Ball Super, one of the rules was no killing. If you kill someone, you get disqualified. And you'd think, oh, that means someone's gonna kill someone by accident or otherwise, and they're gonna immediately lose and die. That never happens. No one dies at all.
Yeah, like there are times that there's like is not a payoff. Like the same play that I was talking about earlier, the Cherry Orchard, there is a gun in the second act, and then by the end of the play, nobody is shot. And I'm like, excuse me, Chekhov, you let me down. But that's kind of where it becomes like relevant that Chekhov never like explicitly wrote about a gun. It's just called like the principle is just called Chekhov's gun.
Right. Anyway, video games.
Yep. Video games.
December
We're
20...
discussing storytelling, which is the same thing. It's important. Storytelling is
Yes.
important to video games.
It is. December 27th. I believe that's today's date.
It is. It is the 27th for me.
Yeah, not for me though. It's the 28th for me. Which means if I started streaming this a week earlier, today would have been day 3 of trial, and it would have been the 28th.
It's the 27th for me. We're still doing fine.
Okay.
We
yeah,
did it.
But,
I'm streaming on the date of the game.
But, well, fine. But New Zealand time is the important one. December 27th.
Oh, of course.
He's out. Again.
When does he work anyway?
What's work? Now,
Make
now.
your own hours, lawyer.
Yep. Now, don't be harsh. Guess we'll have to come back later. I guess the detention center. Let's visit our boyfriend.
Boyfriend time. Boyfriend time. Hi, Chia.
Oh, give me a sec.
Miles internally. He's back. What a clingy man.
Hold on,
What a clingy man.
I've made an error. I've made an
Oh, no.
egregious error.
What have you done?
I forgot to, because this is a separate YouTube stream, I still have the old one open, so I have to fix that.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. It shouldn't take too long.
Okie dokie.
Misha, entertain the
So
stream while
how's
I do
everybody?
this.
Yeah, I was about to say, how's everybody in chat doing? How were your Crimbuses? Merry Chrysler,
Mm-hmm. Query members.
Crary Mimbus, Merry Crisis. I
Merry
said Merry
Chrysler.
Crisis to pretty much everybody, and you can tell like who got it and who didn't. Like that's always really interesting. My favorite meme forever though will be the one where it's like a little dinosaur and the dinosaur is like, "It Christmas. Merry Christmas." It just makes me smile so much. I share it every single year. It's the only Christmas meme that matters. The Phoenix Wright one doesn't count because it is in fact a meme not about Christmas, but about almost Christmas.
Someone did Photoshop that, so they blurred out all the words except for it and
It's
it's Christmas.
it's Christmas means it's Christmas, and it's like yes, understandable.
It does mean
It's
that.
Christmas means it's Christmas. Yes, it's Christmas does mean it's Christmas.
Yeah, that's how
How
words
how
work.
was your Christmas, Dart?
I didn't do anything because I'm not Christian.
That's fair. I saw my grandmother and she made it was just gonna be me and her because like COVID numbers are kind of like wavering a little bit here. They went up recently, so they reinforced a lot of restrictions. But I went over to her house and she's like, "Oh, let me pull the turkey out of the oven." I'm like, "You made a whole turkey? It's just you and me. Like there's just two of us." She made a whole turkey with all the fixins and like she was packing it up after and she's like, "Oh, there are so many leftovers." And I'm like, "Who could have anticipated that an entire turkey dinner for two people would have leftovers?
Indeed.
Who could have foreseen this?"
There we go.
Nobody.
Nobody at all. Definitely not the South Asians.
No, definitely not. But now I have so much turkey in my fridge.
Good. There we go. Hi, Cheer Bride. Welcome. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties happened. Anyway. You look as grim as always.
Mr. Edgeworth, I heard the story about the class trial.
I'm calling it now. We're gonna tell Edgeworth the story, and he'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? That's stupid. You're stupid, right?"
He also doesn't remember it. Yeah, that's the gag.
Yep.
Class trial. What do you mean?
You and I were in 3rd grade together? Since when? Kathleen saw me trying to wrap her surprise present and took off with it before it could be wrapped, so it was a good Christmas. Yeah, it sounds like her.
That's so cute. My wrapping game this year was really weak in that I put things in shopping bags with no tissue paper and handed them to people.
Oh.
Like nice shopping bags, like the kinds you get at like malls and stuff, like paper shopping bags that are sturdy. And I was like, also for most of my friends, they knew what I was getting them for Christmas anyways. You don't remember?
Also, Chia Bride, give Kathleen a Christmas hug from me. I forgot to wish her. This is the thing about
No.
time difference. Go ahead.
No, I don't.
This is the thing about time differences. I'll never wish people who live in other time zones on the day that it is for me, because they'll be like, "What the hell do you mean? It's tomorrow, you dumb shit." So I'll be like, "Okay, I'll wait," and then I'll forget because it's not that day anymore.
You say people and you're trying to be vague, but then you did that accent and gave it away.
Oh no, I do that accent whenever I'm making fun of someone, regardless of whether they're South Asian or not.
Oh, okay. I was like, yes, relatives in India. They sure are like that.
I mean, they are, but I don't go out of my way to wish relatives outside of... I wish relatives in Bangladesh. They call us, and then Mum comes into my room while I'm doing something, and then goes,
And it's like...
"Doc!"
My grandma does that too. "Do you want to say hi?" And I'm like, "I don't even know who this is."
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, it's your...
Don't you
It's
remember
your
me?
grandfather's brother's nephew's wife." And I'm like, okay.
Okay. Don't you remember me? I stood next to your mother while she was pregnant with you. How dare you not remember?
I said hello to you once at another relative's wedding, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't even remember that wedding. I was 2."
Yeah, someone actually got offended at me in Bangladesh because I couldn't remember them from the... And he was like, "The last time I saw you, like, when your parents were leaving Bangladesh to move to New Zealand." I'm like, "You mean when I was 1?
Yup. It'd be like that. Let's play video games. Your lunch money was stolen, wasn't it? In 3rd grade?
We were in 3rd grade. Lunch money? 3rd grade? Plankton? Giving? With?
Lunch money? Oh, right. Yes, I seem to remember something like that.
He doesn't. He's just trying to make us feel better.
Nick, I think you're the only one who really remembers.
Well, it probably only really mattered to me anyway. Mood.
Mr. Edgeworth, didn't you know? That trial was the reason Nick became a defense attorney.
Maya, don't fucking tell him that.
He did it because he loves you.
Maya,
and
shut the
wants
fuck
to
up.
Spend time with you.
No, you don't listen to her, Edgeworth. She's crazy.
You're cute.
No, she's crazy. She thinks she's a spirit medium or some bullshit. It's, she's a riot. She's great, but no, don't listen to her.
I am a spirit medium.
Maya, shut the fuck up.
Today is Bully Maya Day. This whole case is Bully Maya the case.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
This is why I told you to shut up, Maya. Now he's gonna make fun of me. Gee, thanks.
That said, it does sound like the kind of thing you'd do.
Also, someone bombed an RV outside of Nashville, the Nashville AT&T building, and so we were without self-service since Friday. What the fuck?
Yeah, I saw some news about that, but I haven't really seen any like actual details on it. I was like, what? Yeah, apparently on Christmas Day somebody like set off a bomb in downtown Nashville and it damaged like 41 buildings.
The fuck?
I know. And like, yeah, so a bunch of people were without cell service this weekend.
Do they have it back? Do you guys have self-service back now?
I mean, I would imagine if they're on a stream, they have like internet and stuff back.
Yeah, true.
Because I think internet was out too.
I bet it was a white guy,
Like-
and they'll call him mentally unwell.
I'm already seeing that the headlines I have seen are like, oh, he was an Antifa sympathizer, and I'm like, right. Also, not to like flatter you, but I think if they were without cell and internet service, they would not have gone out of their way to be on this stream. Like, not to burst your ego bubble there.
That's fair. Just making sure. Jesus. You said this already.
I did. You haven't changed a bit, have you, Wright? So simple. To a fault, even. That's flirting. That's flirting, y'all.
Well, maybe, yeah, but I think you changed too much, Edgeworth.
Perhaps. Ooh, the silent perhaps. Like, ooh.
That's the most emotion. That's the most character we've gotten out of him all game. Hey,
Is this before or after unnecessary feelings? The line where he's like, thanks to you in this trial, I've been saddled with unnecessary feelings.
I think this is after.
Oh, okay. So he's had that too.
He says it at the end of the samurai case.
Oh yeah, he's like, thanks. Now I have feelings that I have to think about.
Now I'm gay because of you. Because of you, right?
He was always gay.
But now he knows, and it's because of Phoenix.
Yeah.
Hey, Edgeworth, why did you become a prosecutor anyway? You used to look up to your dad. You said you wanted to be a defense attorney, right? A bengoshi.
I couldn't let myself deny reality like you.
What do you mean?
My father was taken from me, and you want me to defend criminals?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Wright, but I'm not that good of a person.
I have it, and I think Kathleen does, but our internet's connected to a different company. The bomber is a 63-year-old white guy, and from what I have seen, he's not Antifa. Okay.
Yeah. Good to know. It's like...
God,
Video games.
Sure. I was about to go on another rant, but you stopped me. I'm gonna stick with that.
Video games.
Gideo
One
Vames.
Video games. One suspect was apprehended in your father's murder, right? Yes. The man trapped in the elevator with my father. His name was Yanni Yogi.
Push-up glasses. Actually, his name was Heine Kotaro!
He had to be the shooter, any way you look at it.
No more terrorism talk. Okay.
Yet he was found innocent. The defense attorney got him off the hook.
That would be Robert Hammond. Man, he doesn't look like an asshole, but he was such an asshole in the movie, in the live-action movie.
It's always the ones that don't look like assholes that are.
Yep. I'm glad that they got his likeness so well in the live-action movie.
Like, I think he was one of the ones that, like, looked enough like the sprite that he was recognizable without getting too far, like, exaggerated.
Yeah, and they gave him glasses, and that was the only change, and that was it.
On that day, 15 years ago,
Shit.
the three of us were trapped in that elevator for 5 hours. When we were rescued, we all suffered oxygen deprivation. I had lost all memory of the murder.
Lost your memory?
Even now, I can't recall what happened in that elevator. That was the crux of Yogi's attorney's argument in court. He claimed Yanni Yogi had been not of sound mind due to the oxygen deprivation. Yogi was released due to a lack of evidence. Innocent.
God, the courtroom in the live action was a lot bigger than this. I think it's because they had like normal audience stands rather than the raised ones. So these were gone, and so they moved the defense and the lawyer podiums to where those were.
They still had the ones behind it, but they were smaller, and they also had more of a playing space between the two benches.
Yeah.
That I think, like, which I could definitely see being necessary for a movie to allow the actors to interact more in a way that's like really different from how like the visual novel style works, where like the conflict is best established by them facing opposite ways in the back and forth, but like it doesn't work so well in like the movie space. I don't know. It's like the visual aesthetics of the two genres.
Film criticism.
Subdued, and also the courtroom here is brighter. We talked for like 10 minutes about how the live action kind of looks like it was directed by a horror director.
Yeah.
Like all of the colors are really subdued, and like a lot of things are unnecessarily dark. Whereas like these games are so colorful.
Like the old man.
That's my big takeaway.
The old man has like a bright pink beanie and a yellow jacket. And in the movie, it's a maroon beanie and like a dark olive green jacket with a black turtleneck.
Like all the color, which kind of makes it wild that like all of the extras in the courtroom all kind of looked like they had walked right off the streets of like 1990s, early 2000s Shibuya. Like,
yep.
Like they not and like very much like these people just walked in from Harajuku. They all dressed kind of crazy, and it like did not work with the subdued color palette. That's my biggest critique of the Ace Attorney movie. Is like character-wise, they did like the extreme like non-realistic world building, and then it was like the color palette itself washed it all out. Video games.
The characters all look like had like the cosplay problem.
That's when I changed my mind. I started to hate defense attorneys.
What's your relationship with Von Karma?
He's my teacher, and a man who deserves respect. I learned everything I know about courtroom techniques from him.
So he's like my sister was to you, Nick.
Now I just want to see Mia and Von Karma fight each other.
Yeah. He is a perfectionist. in all things. In court, in his personal life, he is obsessed with doing everything perfectly.
Perfectly, huh?
In all the cases he has taken on, none were left unsolved. And not one suspect was declared innocent, ever.
But that's...
I know. It's possible some of the suspects were indeed innocent. However, it is impossible for us to accurately determine that in every case. All Von Karma does is his job, to find the suspect guilty, perfectly. In any case, it's nigh well impossible to find a weakness in him. Should a weakness appear, he would do everything in his power to make it go away.
Edgeworth, if what you're saying is true, you're headed for a guilty sentence tomorrow.
He's right. Now's no time to praise the enemy, Mr. Edgeworth.
It's a strange situation in which I find myself, I'll admit.
No kidding. Do I have to show him anything, or are we done? Let's show him the photo of his dead father.
One thing that I know you hate Rise from the Ashes, but my favorite thing about Rise from the Ashes is that they have an additional sprite for Miles where he just looks stressed out.
I think I remember that
sometimes I miss it. Sometimes I miss it in like these early cases before they included it because it's just so good. He just looks so distressed, and it would fit so well in so many of these scenes here. Just like Miles being like, "Oh my God, where did I go wrong with my life?"
Especially in this case where he's literally about to die.
Let me see if I can find that sprite because it makes me really happy.
Okay, you do that. I'll show him the photo of his dead father.
Ha!
Nick? No. That's a photo of his father.
Don't show him that.
You're right. Now probably isn't a good time to dredge up those memories. Damn it!
What is it?
It's a photo of your dead father. I mean nothing!
Huh?
Is there anything we can show him now, or should we just leave?
You could probably show him, I don't know. I think the picture of Misty Faye means something. Where is...
Okay, nothing. Alright, let's go then. I guess
Can I send you this image directly?
Yeah, go ahead, send it on Discord. Bless you.
It will only send the PNG. I cannot send you like a link to it. But like, he just looks so distressed. He's just not having a good. And I love that on the wiki that sprite is entitled "Smiling." Like, that is not a smiling man.
That is a tiny pung.
Yep, it is a very. I just pulled it off the wiki. Let me see if I can find a. I cannot find it any bigger than that.
I do remember that though.
Yep, he's so distressed. Like, yes, this is what he looks like when he is smiling, as he's like, "Oh my God, my life is a disaster."
By the way, can I show you the selfie you showed me? Can I show the selfie you sent me with Misty?
You may put my face on your stream.
Guys, this is Misha. Isn't she hot?
I really look great today. You can tell I rolled out of bed at about 3 p.m. and put on a t-shirt and drove to Best Buy.
That's exactly what this picture tells me.
Yep.
Plus Ultra.
My hair looks great.
Your hair does look
Yeah,
great.
my giant My Hero Academia poster. It's very large. I think it's taller than me. No, it's not. It's about the same height as me.
And Misty's in the background just like, yes. All Might.
Yeah, she wandered off somewhere.